anybody talking besides Heidi. You're not going to fill up all the time for us.
Oh, I could. No, I'm just kidding. If you want me to.
Okay, so for this week, I thought we should talk about habits. One of the things I'm learning, I'm reading this book called Atomic Habits, and one of the things I'm learning is you can have all the willpower, all the desire, all the ambition, but what your life actually consists of is your habits. What do you create in the day through your tiny little habits? And when your willpower isn't there, when your ambition is lacking, when you're having a bad day or you're feeling triggered, it's really things come back to habits. And if you can learn how to create good habits, you don't have to rely on things like willpower, which often doesn't get us where we want to go, or desire, because our desires can be fleeting, or our addictions can often be stronger than our desires. Good habits lead to long-term success, like compound interest in the bank. One of the things that I started implementing, I hurt my back a few years ago, and ever since I've struggled a little bit with my exercise routine. One of the things that made a huge difference for me was recognizing that I don't have to get in my workout clothes. I don't have to commit to an hour of intense exercise, but I could go to the gym or I could step outside and work out for 15 minutes. So I started committing myself to just show up to the gym or on a walk, that I would commit to that every day. And it was really kind of cool to see that I'm creating this habit regardless of how intense it was. And even when I wasn't feeling, you know, ready to do a full-on workout, I was still doing something. And the alternative was nothing. And so I think habits I've recognized they make a big difference. Any thoughts so far you want to chime in about before I teach you the formula for a good habit?
Let's go.
No?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So the 4 steps to habit formation. This is based on a lot of research, and this guy has James Clear has developed some ideas from people before him, and taken it and run with it. So every habit or behavior, consistent behavior that we have starts with a cue. We then get a craving for this behavior, followed by the response and the reward. Everything we do has a reward. Some things might not seem like a reward, but everything we do, there's a reward, or else we wouldn't do it. So when you think of behavior in these terms, then the way to handle this and the way to create good habits is to first make it obvious, second, make it attractive, third, make it easy, and fourth, make it satisfying. So I chose this picture because when I moved here, I lost my pebbled ice maker in my old house. And I also had this awesome like butler's pantry in my hallway that was like a drink station. And it was so enticing that I drank a lot in my last house. And in my new house, I hate my kitchen. The space is awful. There's not enough cupboard space. And I just caught myself not drinking as much. So I made this isn't a picture of my kitchen, but this is just stock picture. I made this little station in the corner of my kitchen where I put a cute little electric tea kettle and a basket full of like herb teas and different like little packs of like peak tea, like the broths and stuff, and put it right by the fridge where I have ice and water as well. So this to me, and like electrolyte packs and everything right there. This to me was, first of all, leaving it out on the counter, which I originally was like, I hate too much stuff on my counter. But I made it obvious by putting it on the counter. I got the cutest little tea kettle I could find, electric tea kettle. So and I put my teas in a cute little basket. I made it attractive. I made it easy. Easy and obvious can almost seem like the same thing, but having it all out made it really easy. There wasn't too many steps. There wasn't too many things to get out.
Well, an electric kettle also. That right there makes
Yeah.
it easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super fast, super
Right.
easy. And then I made it satisfying by choosing the right flavors and things that I enjoy to drink. And that little habit I didn't realize was following this pattern, but it's really helped. It's made it way better for me. It's made me hydrate much better throughout the day to have things really accessible and obvious. So can you think of any habits that you have included by naturally doing these things?
Mine, this is so obvious for me because I'm a trainer, but it's important. So after I had my baby, going to a gym was really difficult for me because I always had to come home right after work and take care of my baby so my husband could go and work. So we always had to switch off. So I had a gym membership somewhere other than Elevate because I can't work out at Elevate. But I was having a difficult time going to the gym just with timing and everything. So I put together a gym down in my basement with things that like make it obvious. So it's a room specifically for my gym equipment. I got my favorite stuff that I like. So at first, when I was putting it all together, I didn't put a squat rack in there and I was hardly going down there. And then when I finally got a squat rack, because that's my favorite thing to do is with a bar, I'm down there so much more and I feel like I can commit to it better because it's attractive to me. I crave that type of exercise rather than just a couple hand weights. And then it's easy. Obviously, it's right down in my basement. And obviously, exercise for me is already satisfying. But that was a habit that took me a long time to get into after having my baby because it took time to collect equipment and put it all together, but helped to form that habit that it's hard for people to work out at home.
Yeah.
It's really hard. So you have to get the equipment you like and you enjoy.
Yeah, and that's what Ben says in his book. Like the best exercise for you is the one that you'll do.
Yeah.
Which is really making it attractive for us. The other thing that he talks about is when we have specific jobs to do that come, let's say at your house, you know, you have cooking, you have sleeping, you have exercising, all these different tasks, working. Some people are working from home. It really helps to put the activities in their own space. So even if you don't, like my office here is in my bedroom, but I know when I sit down at this desk, this is my workspace. And same with like your gym. When you go to that room is set aside for that task. And so it helps you focus and stay on task if you can kind of separate your space by what you're supposed to be doing, because we are so easily distracted. Cell phones have just damaged our ability to focus. And so, you know, I think one of the things he talks about is taking your phone out of that space. When you sit down at your workspace, don't bring your phone with you. That's really hard one to do. I can't imagine like working out too. Obviously, if you don't get distracted, then it's not an issue, but I like that. That's a perfect one. Any other thoughts? Can you think of a habit that you formed or one you want? Think about one you want to create in your life and how could you make it obvious and attractive and easy and satisfying?
Okay, let's do one. Let's
Okay.
do one for daily walking.
Okay, so daily walking. If you're not already daily walking, the first thing I can think of to make it obvious, well, I think there's lots of different things you could do, but one of the things to make it obvious, let's say if you wanted to do it first thing in the morning, would be to get your clothes ready at night and put that wherever you're going to get ready in the morning, get your exercise clothes out if you're going to do that. What do you think for the cue? What's going to cue you to do that?
I think making sure you have an alarm set, I know like that seems obvious, but if you have nowhere you have to be for the day, so you just wake up to your own whenever you wake up, say it's at 7:30, I think having an alarm set prior to that, when your like normal natural wake up time is, will help tell you like, nope, okay, I gotta get up, I gotta do this. So set an alarm.
Okay, I like that one. What else would make it obvious? When do you want to walk in the day?
That's that's what I've been trying to well, a bunch of different variety of different ideas and things, you know. It's like, okay, I'm trying to find something that works, and that that you don't change your mind or, you know, do anything because of the weather or have easy excuses to stop. But early in the morning I start work at 7:30, so it's early to get up and do that. But I have a treadmill here, so I did that last year to make it a little more obvious.
Yeah.
So you have a treadmill, so weather can never be an excuse.
Right. So
what about, is your treadmill in front of a TV? I know that sounds.
No, it's in my cellar, but I take my laptop down there and set up. So I have like a 45-minute show to watch while I do that.
Do you watch that show while you're not working out ever?
No, I save it just for that.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
So,
you gotta save, if you are watching a Netflix series.
Yeah.
Then that's what I do. I have a series that's specifically for when I'm working out. So I only get to watch it if I'm working out.
So I'd like to do there's always like when there's a surprise in the day, which seems to be most of the days, it's like, oh, I can't do, and it's like, why do I drop my priority of myself before anything else? Where is that brain disconnect that I, put that, oh, okay, and then, that's one of the things. So making it obvious, just the same time of day, by 4:30, that's the low part of the circadian rhythm. And then it's really hard to make a decision. But so making it obvious, I was trying to make it like a set time every day, but then when there's a change in a schedule or something, but
yeah, that's tricky.
Making it obvious.
Have you made it attractive? Because I say a treadmill is as obvious as you can get, but maybe that's not what's attractive to you for exercise, or maybe your show is not interesting enough, because I think where most people get caught up is you can make it as obvious as you want, but if it's not attractive, something that's you're craving, if you crave no part of it, it's difficult to, let me say this, it's easy to make an excuse for it.
Yeah. I'll probably start a new show because I'm not that interested in anyway.
There you go.
So change that. Something about making it obvious. Thing, it doesn't bother me, but it would bother other people. I think that it's down in my cellar. So I have to go outside and downstairs, and then, but it's in the cellar, it's in front of a window. And so, but it doesn't matter if I have my laptop sitting on top of it, but I just have to, now that the weather's changing, my excuse during the summer was it was too hot outside, it's like, I can't go out, there's too hot. So I'll wait till 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and then it just never, anyway, there's just too many variables that you just don't, and then it's like, I always drop it. So, I mean, I sound like I don't do anything because I do a lot. I do more movement and stuff now than I've done in most of my adult life. So it's awesome. Not that I'm not doing anything, but I just want something consistent that I'm going to get better at and stronger at. So,
yeah. The other thing to make it obvious would be to attach it to an already consistent behavior. So, one of the things I did when I was really struggling to work out was say, okay, if by bedtime I haven't done anything, I have to go out for a 15-minute walk, rain or shine, whatever. If I, and that was attached to my bedtime.
Before I can brush my teeth, I need to go do 20 minutes on the treadmill.
Yeah. Attaching it to a obvious behavior, an
necessity,
obvious habit can be another kind of trick to creating a new
Yeah.
I
habit.
wanna know how Larita got into her habit because she created this habit of coming to my class a year or so ago.
It
And
was a year ago in August.
and I told her, what did I say when we hired her as a coach? I said, Larita, don't you dare stop coming to my
Oh, you
classes.
did.
I said that
Yes, you did.
because every time somebody becomes an employee, they stop coming to the classes at Elevate that they get for free.
Yeah.
And so I
Right.
want to know how Larita created a habit out of it because she hasn't stopped.
You're right. It can't. Not anymore. It's become too important to how I feel every day. It's actually part of, and actually seeing the change has just become too integral a part of who I am now. And
So
every day,
how'd you create that habit before
Well, every
you start
day-
seeing that?
my husband has to get up early and go to work anyway. So I just, and you've heard me say I'm an early riser, and I used to just lay in bed. I'm awake by 5:30 or 6 almost every morning, no matter what. And it doesn't even matter what time zone I'm in. I wake up between 5:30 and 6. So I just told myself I can't just lay here. That's just silly. Not when I can become a better person by actually getting out of bed and leaving. But I also bought me shoes that I felt comfortable. And that sounds dumb, but the shoes were important to me. Shoes were important to me that I could do this and have comfortable shoes that worked well.
That made it attractive.
It did make it attractive, but it actually gave it a satisfying measure because I've had a lot of foot problems. And so to be comfortable on my feet was really important to me.
I totally get it though, because as a trainer, I have to like my workout clothes when I'm working out.
I do
And
too.
so I make sure I just have cute new workout clothes, and I enjoy putting on my workout clothes. And that
I do
helps me
too.
feel better when I work out. It's like they say, like, you dress for the job you want, And so you got to make sure, like, if you want to feel good working out, you also have to feel like you look okay working out.
I agree with that.
So,
It was really,
Yeah.
honestly, the more I did it, the more I couldn't stop because I could see the difference. I felt like a different person physically and mentally. So once that change started happening, I knew I couldn't stop.
So
I
the
even remember-
reward got bigger and bigger.
Well, and Shelby said that to me and I said, no, I'm already addicted. I can't stop. I have to keep coming.
Yeah. That's cool. And now it's a behavior and you don't even have to think about it. That's the cool thing about when you are able to create a new habit, you take the Heidi, the should I, shouldn't I, it's too late, I'm too tired. You take this stupid conversation that we have in our minds
Yeah.
totally off the table. And all of a sudden it is what it is. And it's happening because that's what we know. That's what we've
Yeah.
created. So
Yeah.
if you can come to the place where you can create a habit, and sometimes it happens, I think like Larita, sometimes it happens, it starts with a really strong desire and a will and then works its way into a behavior. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it starts where you're really pushing one foot in front of the other and you're just following this, outline, and then the desire comes over time. So I think it can kind of go both ways.
and Larita, how long would you say it took you to get into that habit? Because the cardinal rule is 21 days.
Right.
So would you say it took about 3 weeks of like consistency to feel like you're
My
in the
memory,
habit?
my memory is that once I started going, and I'm sure there must have been a time when but it didn't take me long to just say, I can sense this. Carly kept talking to me about these classes and I kept saying, I feel like I need to do that. I feel like that's a really important step for me to take. And I put it off for almost a year and a half, probably 2 years. before I finally said, I'm just going to do this. And after COVID and everything and all the shutdowns and all the nonsense, and I just said, okay, you know what? This actually matters. And so I don't know, maybe Shelby, but it was pretty quick for me to just say, no, and you know, I had all those arm problems. So to see those start getting better quickly was huge to me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't honestly say, but I do know that it was not long before I could see it was more not just a habit, but that it was necessary.
And it
My
seemed
health.
to be easy. You didn't have very many roadblocks or anything to do it. You found
I
a
was
pattern.
lucky. No,
found
I
a
had
way.
no
Yeah.
roadblocks. I
Yeah.
was really lucky that way. And I know some people who have a lot going on in their homes. I had none. I had no roadblocks when I started. I could just do what I wanted to do. And that's a big
That's
difference.
cool. So Jen and Wadu, hi guys. We're talking about habits and how do you create a habit? Because this is key to changing behavior, not just having a really strong desire and a willpower, but
How to
actually
create a good
changing.
habit, right?
Yes, a good habit. So we were talking about good habits, and here's where you deal with the bad habits. So breaking unwanted habits, you just do these steps backwards. So make it invisible instead of accessible. Make it unattractive. Make it difficult and make it unsatisfying. So can you think of a habit that you have abandoned or that you want to abandon, and how would we apply these steps to that? My example this morning was holiday treats. If you have holiday treats sitting on your counter and they tempt you, throw them away or put them in the cupboard if you must save them for your family, you know, the other people living in the house. If you have to be considerate of them, at least put them in the cupboard. Maybe tell them where they're at, but get them out of your sight. Make them invisible. Can you think of a behavior? Anybody?
Oh, let's see.
On the holiday treats or a different one?
Yeah, something else that you have changed or you want to change?
You know, oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I'm just, well, one that I'm changing, I've brought this up on other calls before, but one of the things, like on days where I have to be gone from home for 10, 12, 14 hours, old habits of forever is I would eat in my car. And I lived in Montana and we were 2 hours from anywhere. So eating in your car was a time saver and all sorts of things and, you know, convenience thing and all sorts of stuff. So that habit of all those years of doing that. And now if I'm out and about for 10, 12, 14 hours away from home, it's easy to do that. I don't want to eat in my car. I want to rule that there's no food allowed in the car because that's a bad habit. And I've been pretty good about it. But, you know, keeping your car clean and anyway, yeah. So that's not a huge one, but it's kind of,
I disagree. I think it is huge, Heidi, because
you?
the car is where we spend so much time and it's downtime and we get bored and thoughtless. Our mindless things start to happen mindlessly. So our bad habits, I feel like, exasperate or are huge in the car when we're by ourselves and nobody's watching. So I feel like that's a huge one to a great habit to break is just don't allow food in the car. And it's the same, like I have a bad habit of like picking my cuticles, and it is the worst when I'm in the car driving. It's such a bad habit in the car. And again, it's because typically we're mindless when we're driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So one way you made that unattractive was setting the boundary, no food in the car. So now all of a sudden you have to actually get out of your car and go in the fast food restaurant, which who wants to go inside, you know, the dirty restaurant, and actually talk to somebody face to face and get your food. That's unattractive to me. You know, if I wanted to get fast food, I'd want to go through the drive-through. So that's good. Making it difficult. Same thing. You're getting out of your car and having to go inside. So yeah, that I like that. That's a good one for sure.
Anyway, that's just one to play with.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Larita?
Well, I was actually going to mention when I travel, because I travel to Vegas all the time to see my daughters, and I'm in the car all the time. And I just had to just stop because I used to get almond M&Ms or the chocolate covered almonds that are dusted like. And I would literally eat a bag or two or three all the way to Vegas and all the way back. That was my thing, you know. That's what I love to do, was to eat those stupid almonds. And that was kind of my thing, is I just had to stop saying those are not allowed. They cannot be in existence. They just can't. And I remember you talking about sunflower seeds, Carly, when you were my coach, and about eating sunflower seeds when I drove, because it was probably a problem for me. I'm sure it must have been. That's probably why you told me to eat the sunflower seeds. And so anyway, you just can't have those things around. You just can't. You have to make them inaccessible.
Yeah.
And inaccessible. That's the right word. Sorry. Inaccessible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of,
Exactly.
I was headed the same direction you were, Heidi.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of the
thanks.
same idea. You got to just, there has to be a boundary around it. There has to be a limit. There has to be something that you set up for yourself that makes it unattractive and not good. And I like your idea of wanting not to have the food in your car.
And also the other one that I've kind of used is debit cards are so easy to just have, and just make yourself a rule that you have to pay cash for anytime you buy a food, or it's like even at a gas station, just a cold drink and oh well, there's a bag of Doritos, it's like it's too easy. And then you just whip out a debit card. If you make yourself a rule, you have to pay cash for every food that you buy, even at the grocery store. Like, you have cash budget for whatever you buy. You really pay attention to what you're buying.
Now you're starting to sound like Dave Ramsey. I like it. It's true. It's so true. People will spend like 30% more if they're using a credit card or a debit card rather than cash. You're more thoughtful when you have to hand over the actual money.
And unsatisfying, it's just, you just feel gross if you're eating junk. So that's its own, it resolves itself right there.
That's the opposite of a reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it resolves itself, just the natural consequence.
Yeah, I like that. So Jen and Wadu, can you guys think of any behaviors you want to either break or create, and how these would apply? Do you have any examples for us?
I will go.
Okay.
Mine. Here, go back to the other page.
Okay.
The bad.
Tell me where to toggle. Breaking.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I like it.
So the invisible on food is huge for me. Everyone says, after a couple weeks of no sugar, you don't crave it anymore. I like treats. I could live off of treats. Like, that is, I don't need actual food. I could just eat treats all day long. Where my husband's more like salty and meat. And so that's why we're doing this program. But yeah, I need it invisible. It can't be on the counter. My son loves to make cookies, and he'll say, "Mom, can you make cookies?" And I'm like, "Buddy, can you wait till tomorrow? Because I work tomorrow and I will not be here. And then I can say no to the cookies, but not the cookie dough. So I cannot have that in front of me." And it was my daughter's birthday this weekend. My mom always makes her lemon meringue pie, and she always brings 2 of them. And I said, "Mom, will you only bring 1 of them? Because she'll eat her piece and she can take that back to college with her, and there won't be another pie sitting here. It cannot be here." So I am not I don't know how to make it unattractive or unsatisfying. So I am just it cannot be at our house right now. So that's why I am on that.
One of the things that, same instance with the treats, I will only make my kids cookies that I don't like. So they don't get the cookies that they like and that I like. I just had to abandon those recipes because, sorry, it makes me an angry mom when I have sugar, and if it's around, I'll eat it. So I only
Yeah.
make cookies that I don't like. That was my way of making it unattractive.
Yeah. And then non-food, a habit that I've had my whole entire life. I have been such a nail biter, like such a bad nail biter. But as soon as COVID started, that kind of switched for me. That's what made it unattractive. I was like, okay, we're trying to be clean. I cannot have my fingers in my mouth. So I made it unattractive. And then I have these little push-on nails that make it
Awesome.
difficult, and they're so cute. So I don't want to.
Oh my gosh, that's
I make 'em.
perfect.
And so I have not. I don't. I might pick a little bit, but I do not. I haven't bit my nails since COVID, and that I have tried my whole entire life to quit that horrible habit, and it happened like that because somehow I did make it unattractive. I mean,
That
I
is
already
so
knew it
cool.
was like ugly, but I made
Those
it.
push-on nails for not biting your nails are life-changing.
I,
It changed my life.
they are like the cheapest. They're $13 and
Yeah.
they stay on for 3 weeks. They
Forever,
are
yeah.
like the best.
Hmm.
Yep.
And they're short because I play volleyball, so I need them short, but they keep me away from biting them. So
That's awesome.
hot.
Good
Yeah.
for you. So I think there's a deficiency that goes along with that too. Did the time you started those have anything to do with when you started eating like this, or did that come way after the fact?
Sorry, say that again.
So I stopped biting my nails when I started a certain supplement, a liquid multivitamin stopped me
Mhm.
like that from biting my
Really?
nails. So I wondered if anything changed in your diet or if you were just able to make that, because that's pretty
It-
cool to override that I think it's like a deficiency in you. You have the desire, because my desire went away like that, and it was when I started a
What
multivitamin.
supplement?
Maybe that's when I
Yeah,
started eating
It's
and
a-
gaining weight.
It's a liquid multivitamin that's like $60 a month that my health food grandma got me onto. Yeah, I could send you the link, but it has like 11 carbs in the liquid. So I stopped using it when I started at Elevate, the program, but the habit had already been formed, and I don't know if I just got things right in the range I needed and then kept it from my new lifestyle, because I've been able to maintain it since.
Huh.
So
Literally just
I don't-
COVID. I was like,
that's so cool. Good for you.
Hey,
The reward went away when you learned that it could make you sick, you know?
Mhm.
Maybe that's
look
cool.
who's here.
so can I bring up an idea for
Hi,
Jen?
Jake.
Like,
Welcome. Yeah.
so going off what you said, Carly, attach something that you already do. And if Jen's gonna eat treats or sweets or whatever, the other part, like you set up a game, set up a rule that if you're gonna do that 15 minutes after you eat it, you have to do a glucose test. And then when you see those numbers every time, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
some
playing with
negative
it.
feedback.
I'm just being creative.
I like it. That's awesome.
So
Welcome, Jake. We've been talking about creating new habits and avoiding bad habits and the steps to create a habit and to get rid of a habit. So Jen had just shared hers with us. How about you, Wadu? Do you have anything to share tonight?
Yeah, I had one. I was meeting with Rich, and he just saw that I was going up and down, and he said, "You're probably eating too much of something." So I told him I love nuts, and obviously that's not the best, because once you start eating it, you can't stop. Oh, did I lose you?
no,
We can
You're
hear you.
back.
Yeah. So, anyways, I identified it, and he said, "Yeah, we're done with that." So once I stopped doing that, I think that's just a bad habit that I've been doing for a long time. So now I just don't even bother with nuts at all.
So how did you break the habit? Did you follow any of these steps, or did you just say, I'm done with those and they're gone?
No, make it invisible.
You
That's
got
what I
rid of
did.
them.
Got rid of them. And
Good.
because of that, I do a lot of that now with because like during Thanksgiving we had a lot of leftover pies and stuff. I just put them all in the trash. I made
Good
it
for
really
you.
invisible for everyone.
That makes it pretty unattractive
With it.
too if you have to dig it out of the garbage.
Yeah, right. Anyways, that's what I try to do.
That's good. Taking it out of the house is the first step to making it invisible, and it becomes very unattractive to have to drive to the store to get your fix, and difficult and unsatisfying, So that's awesome.
Right.
I think that's a really key step for a lot of these food addictions or food, bad behaviors that we have. And nuts is tricky. Nuts are one of those foods that you can never have enough. One serving feels like you're just getting started, and they're pretty addicting. So that's a good one to break.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Heidi, you had something.
No, I was just saying that driving to the store is unattractive. It's 16 miles round trip for me to go get anything. It's like, that's a lot.
Oh, so you have that is like built-in habit breaking if you can just keep it out of your house.
Yep. Yep.
And out of your car.
Yep. And if I don't buy it, it's not here. So
That's awesome.
and I don't share a kitchen with anybody. So yeah. So there's some good things there, but
That's awesome. Good for you.
I make better decisions when I'm not tired also. If I'm tired, you make terrible decisions.
Yeah, and recognizing like the things that trigger you to make bad decisions, I think is super key. Like recognizing that
Yeah.
sleepiness is a trigger for you, being tired, overly tired, then it can kind of help you combat
Yeah.
those times for sure. So how's getting ready for the holidays for you guys? Are you guys struggling? Are you feeling like you got this? You're excited to make it through Christmas? How's everything going?
I'm still coming up with a plan. I have 17 days off with no work or anything and no plans yet. So I'm trying
Wow.
to like put a little thought into every day because that could run away and that could be a really bad thing. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to build a little routine and schedule and fun things, like, okay, try a new recipe every day, try a new keto or a diet doctor or something fun recipe every day or something, so it's always positive, or it's like always something focused on, that you don't just, anyway, don't
Yeah,
waste your
I
day.
like that.
But
You need a whole list of podcasts and a big stack of books. That's what I would do if I had 17 days off. What can I get my hands on? That's awesome.
need to wash the walls and it's like all sorts of stuff.
That's awesome. That's exciting and a little
It's scary.
scary. Yeah,
No, I'll be all right.
you'll do great. Jen, do you have
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for me, I have to mentally prepare what I'm going to be doing beforehand. We have 3 work parties coming up, and they all involve dinner. And I'm sure there's going to be salads, there's going to be meat, there's going to be things that we can eat, but it might not be as good. And so we have we have 2 this week, one on Wednesday and one on Thursday. And I've already just decided that's going to be my one meal that day. Like fasting used to be really hard for me, but it's like, I almost have to be like, I have not eaten. Like I'm more like get lightheaded more than
Awesome.
hungry these days. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I need some sustenance. And so I'm going to go eat something more than I'm hungry. And so having one meal a day, I went to Costa Vida today, no rice, no beans, no shell, pretty much just lettuce and meat and ranch. But Jake's like, what do you want for dinner? And I'm like, I'm good. Like if I have something like big like that, I'm good for the day. So I've already decided, pre-decided on those days that I know that we're having, something big. One of them's Tucanos, which is kind of easy on keto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kinda
That'll
nice,
be
but it's
really
gonna
nice.
be, you know how you're supposed to just eat until you're not hungry? Like, I'm sure we're gonna eat till we're full that day. And so that will be my one meals. And then I think, and maybe this isn't good or works for everyone, but I feel like we're to a point, we still have a ways to go, but I'm to a point that if I am so good, then on Christmas morning, I'm going to have our traditional breakfast and I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I probably won't have seconds or thirds, but I'm going to sit down with my family and do our traditional Christmas morning breakfast. And I'm going to be okay with that.
That'll be it.
And then that might be my meal for the day.
That's great.
So I think just like pre-planning what we're willing to do and what we're going to do instead of just getting thrown into situations. That's how I'm
That's
feeling.
terrific.
I am nervous about a counter full of neighbor gifts that are all chocolate, and I'm probably just gonna throw most of them away.
Regift them.
Or I'll tell the kids,
Regift them. I love that.
Just regift them
go take these into your rooms
to the neighboring
because
neighborhood.
they cannot.
And make sure you don't gift them to the people that gifted them to you.
Exactly.
Don't mix up. Take good notes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think another trick with all the holiday parties coming up, if you don't want to eat at the party, you know there's not going to be something for you. Tucanos is great. That's easy. But like there's other ones that aren't easy. Going already full and haven't eaten does the trick for a lot of my clients. And so, because it's what Heidi said, like when you're tired or when you're hungry, we just make bad decisions anyways. And so making sure that like you're well hydrated, well fed before going into that situation.
Yeah. The other thing about what you mentioned about fasting, how you get jittery instead of really hungry, that's really an electrolyte problem most likely.
Like 5 or 6 of these a day. Like
With
I am
electrolytes?
drinking
Yeah.
So yes, with the Mayo
Good.
electrolyte sets. And why do they only make them in grape and blueberry? Like so annoying. Why can't the lemonade one have electrolytes in it?
So Relight's another good brand. Have you looked at them? Relight and LMNT.
You can
LMNT.
get Relight at the Redmond's Natural Food Store right over here on 8th North by Sonic. You can buy Relight there.
And they have lemonade, don't they? Larita?
The pina colada and the berry are the only two
Sonic
I've tried.
does.
I cannot picture a lemonade one, but there might be. But I don't know if they have one there or not. But the pina colada and the berry ones are the two I've used the most.
The other thing I like to do, that's another good kind of an electrolyte supplement, is just take a few pinches of salt, something like sea salt. And then I use those True Lemon and True Lime packs. They're just crystallized lemon or crystallized lime. If you don't have fresh limes or fresh lemons, put that in your water and that tastes like lemonade too. If you need to, you could add a little touch of stevia to it, but you're kind of making your own lemonade.
When I first started, I used to do that all the time. I even was known to put salt in my hand. If I was in a situation that I couldn't do anything else, I would just put salt in my hand and just, anyway. Put a pinch in my mouth.
It works. If you need it, it will taste good. It will.
When I
it will
first
be
started,
satisfying.
I was at work and I worked in an office and I couldn't get away and I kept a little thing of salt in my drawer.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
But that's great. You've gotten to kind of doing one meal a day. Good for you.
Yeah.
Not always, but just
That's okay too.
If I
don't
do like a shake for lunch, then I'll have something for dinner. But it's more if I have like a meal.
Yeah,
But
that's terrific. And listening to your body and doing what your body, not eating dinner just because it's dinner time. That's awesome. So amazing. So keep it up. How about you, Wadu? How's your holidays going?
Yeah, it's going good. I'm like the same with everyone else. I'm a teacher, so I get a lot of stuff from kids. So I
yeah.
just do the same thing. I do a lot of regifting and handing to other people
That's
or
good.
throw them away.
What do
Yeah.
you teach?
Well, I teach computer science to middle
Cool.
school students.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, and when you guys were talking about being tired at the end of the day, I am usually beat after the day, and it's kind of hard to go exercise. But, you know, I'm trying to make those steps, and, you know, Rich is trying to push me to get back in the gym.
Bless you for handling our middle schoolers, because that is
Yeah.
a job I would not want. So bless you.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it.
That's awesome. Good for you. Well, good. You guys, thanks for coming and talking about habits and the holidays and sharing with us. It's always better when everybody talks. So thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to see you guys.
Thanks,
Good.
Carly.
If you ever
Hey,
have
thanks.
a topic you want to talk about, let me know. Send me an email. Just Carly at Elevate
I
Utah.
have one.
ElevateUtah.com.
Elevate
Okay.
Utah.
Yes.
I have the worst sleep habits.
Okay.
Even last night I looked up how does lack of sleep affect weight, and there were a lot of articles, but
Yeah.
I will usually go to bed about 1:30 and wake up at like 6:37. Like, I cannot go to bed at night. So I would love to
Carly,
talk about
Carly, I'll take that over next week. I'll do sleep next week.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. This
Perfect.
sleep, when you said sleep, I am all over that. So
I
I will
love
take
it.
that one. Yeah.
I love it.
I-
That's awesome.
That's my line.
Okay.
Yay.
Next week we'll talk about sleep. Shelby
Yay,
will head
Shelby.
it up. That's perfect.
Perfect.
Thanks, Jen, for
That
the
was a
tip. That was great.
topic.
Yeah, that'll be really good. I'm excited.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. See you guys next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.